The Washington Wizards lose to the Boston Celtics at home, 112-98. They fall to an overall record of 3-21. But hey, Justin Champagnie did get his first career double-double. And he's one guy who I definitely think is a keeper. So let's talk about it next on Locked On Wizards.
You are Locked On Wizards, your daily Washington Wizards podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
What's good, everybody? It's your boy Brandon Scott again. Your favorite podcast now has a newsletter, introducing the Locked On Wizards daily newsletter. A one-stop shop for the ultimate team and league coverage delivered right to your inbox. Sign for free at LockedOnDaily.com. That's LockedOnDaily.com. And start your day with the all-new free Locked On Wizards newsletter. Tonight's episode is brought to you by Robinhood Gold. Robinhood Gold provides the privileges of the high net worth for any net worth. These generous benefits are now available for only $5 a month. The new gold standard is here with Robinhood Gold. Sign up at Robinhood.com/gold. All right, everybody, Washington Wizards, they dropped to the Boston Celtics 112-98, and the nation's cap, they fall to an overall record of 3-21. But there are some positives. Justin Champagnie did drop his first career double-double, and the starting five, everybody scored in double figures. So we're going to try to find the good, the bad, and the ugly from tonight's loss versus the defending champion Boston Celtics. So what happened good? Let's get into the good first. So let me get into, real quick, guys, let me get into team stats. So let me go ahead and share the screen with you guys so we can look at the stats. Let's take a look at the starting five. So bear with your boy real quick. All right. So let's get into the starting five real quick. Now, looking at the starting five. Now, before we get into the individual stats, how did the Wizards lose the game? Easy, perimeter. If you look at the perimeter game, the Celtics shot whatever they wanted. They made whatever they wanted. Just from a three-point standpoint, looking at shot attempts, Derek White had 7. He shot 3 for 7. Brown, 2 for 5. Tatum, 2 for 9. Porzingis, 1 for 2. Pritchard on the second unit for the Celtics, 5 and 10. Hauser, 4 for 9. So the second unit, I mean, the team overall, but especially the sharpshooters, Pritchard and Hauser, they sunk us from perimeter. And rebounding. Again, rebounding was an issue for this team tonight. So take a look at that starting five, because they all five did score in double figures, but that's one of the few positives from this game, because they killed us on the perimeter, they killed us in the paint with rebounding, and they extended possessions. There was a few possessions in the second half where they had 2-3 possessions, man, because of offensive rebounds. So looking at the starting five, we'll start with Bub. This is a good game. Yes, only 11 points, but 11 points, 10 boards, 2 assists, 10 rebounds for a guard, I think is a very encouraging sign for Bub Carrington, because he's a guy who's very active in the paint, gets nasty in the paint, definitely gets those boards, and I think that is really what you want out of your guard, man. I mean, obviously, the centers and forwards are your go-to when it comes to rebounding, but when you see a guard go in there and get 10 boards, I think that's a really good sign from Bub Carrington. So like I said, only 11 points, but 10 boards, 2 rebounds, or 2 assists. So 10 rebounds, that's what I like to see from Bub Carrington. He shot 4 for 9 from the field, 3 for 5 from 3, and contributed 2 steals and only 2 turnovers. JP 13 and 36 minutes tonight, scored 21 points, 3 rebounds, and 7 assists. So I love the points, love the assist numbers. Definitely love the assist numbers from JP 13. 8 for 19 for the field, so he was very, very aggressive. And then 3 for 11 from 3-point and 2 for 2 from the charity strike and 2 steals. So again, he definitely shows how much he has progressed on the defensive side of the ball this season. Justin Champagnie, let's get into him real quick. First double-double of his career, and he looked good. 13 points, 14 rebounds, 2 assists, or 3 assists, my bad. Shooting 5 for 11 for the field, 1 for 5 from 3. All right, but 2 for 2 for the charity strike, 3 steals and 2 blocks. Justin Champagnie is a keeper. You keep him here long term. He's a hustle guy. He's a two-way player. He's a guy who produces when called upon. He produces when given minutes. And look, we need to fulfill so much of our cap. Why not keep him around? Justin Champagnie. And we're going to talk about him, Johnny Davis, and Marvin Bagley III, about who should definitely be keepers long term. So we're going to talk about them after the break. But getting into my man, Be Cool. Be Cool. The second straight performance where he's starting to ramp it up again. You know, he goes out there and just plays. You see the high confidence level with him. And like I said, he's a guy who could be breaking out in year 2, which is a testament not only to Be Cool, but a testament to head coach Brian Keefe. 19 points tonight, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, 8 for 20 from the field, 3 for 8 from 3. 1 steal, 4 turnovers. But look, it's all good because he was aggressive. He was not. He took that shot. He wasn't hesitant to take the 3-point shot. You saw more of a mid-range game from him with assists. He's getting other people involved, rebounds, getting there and get those boards. This was a good overall performance from Bilal Coulibaly, aka Be Cool. This is the type of performance you want to see for him going forward because I do truly believe that he is breaking out in year 2, which is an encouraging sign for the Washington Wizards, man. Especially if you have, first draft pick under Will Dawkins, the guy is already breaking out offensively. We all know that he was very, very raw coming out of the draft. Same thing, Alex Sarr. But if you're able to see some serious progression offensively for Bilal Coulibaly, that is a very, very encouraging sign for the Washington Wizards going forward, man. Not only on individual level for Bilal, but on the team level, as far as you're getting these guys, these draft picks, to progress, to develop a lot sooner than expected. And I think that is a testament to Brian Keefe and testament to these young guys, man. You find high character, high motor young players who are willing to put the work in to improve. So getting back into it, Alex Sarr, he had no problem with the shot go tonight. Was very inefficient, yes, but you like the aggressiveness. I mean, in 27 minutes tonight, 14 points, 6 rebounds, 1 assist, 6 for 18 from the field, 2 for 6 from 3. He did contribute 2 blocks on the defensive side, but yes, very inefficient. But I'm willing to let him just go out there and shoot because there's no expectations right now on these players. You can argue there's no expectations on anybody. But even though a lot of the pressure as far as who the judge is, head coach, developmental head coach, and Brian Keefe and the front office finding these diamonds in the rough. But I mean, Alex Sarr, you definitely let him go out there and shoot. Can he be relying on a jump shot? Yeah. But it's very early in the development of Alex Sarr. So look, we'll take all the positives we can. We'll take all the victories where we can. And yes, very aggressive tonight, but you definitely want to see him be more aggressive. Yes, 7-1, you want to see him be more active in the paint, but look, we try to find the positives where we can. So you'll take it. The aggressiveness is something you definitely like to see from Alex Sarr. Let's try to see if we can definitely bring it in a little bit and definitely help him become more efficient. All right, so guys, let's take a look at the second unit real quick. Jared Butler's 7 points and 14 minutes, 3 rebounds. Not too shabby for him. 1 steal, shooting 3 for 4 from the field, 1 for 1 for 3. Johnny Davis. Yes, on first glance, 13 minutes played, 5 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist, 2 for 5 from the field, 1 for 1, or 0 for 1 from 3. But he has shown that he has progressed. First, if you look at his situation, we all know the Johnny Davis situation here in the Nation's Gap, but his jump shot looks good. It is a fluid jump shot, nice release. You see energy, improved ball handling. The defense has always been there. He's a guy that if he proves himself to be, a guy who can definitely contribute, you keep him around. I made it known before the season started that give Johnny Davis a year under head coach Brian Keefe, see if he can develop him further, see if he can fix him. If he can, and I'm not saying that a huge contract here. Obviously, he's a young guy who maybe you give him another year or 2 after the season and see if you can get him going. If you can fix him, I definitely think that if you want anybody to see if they can fix Johnny Davis, it's head coach Brian Keefe. So like I said, guys, he looks much improved. Now, obviously, 10th overall pick, you need more than 5 points, but it's only 13 minutes. So after the deadline, maybe you give him closer to 20 minutes, see what you got. All right, so to round this thing out, Bagley, Valanciunas only 8 minutes tonight, 1 for 4 from the field, over 2 from 3, 2 points, 1 rebound, 2 assists. I watched probably 95 to 98% of the game. Now, I don't know why he only got 8 minutes. Maybe there's a deal in the works because look, today was the deadline for when you can start making moves. So could there be a deal in the works? I don't know. You only 8 minutes. I didn't catch an injury. You guys let me know in the comment section if he got injured. I didn't see a Jonas Valanciunas injury. Like I said, I caught about 95% in the game. Did have to go to a couple bathroom breaks, but I did not catch an injury for him. So 8 minutes, maybe there's a deal in the works, or maybe giving the man some rest. Bagley, the same, 6 rebounds, very encouraging, but not his best night, but only 11 minutes, 2 points, 1 for 5 for the field, over 2 from the charity strike. So, and then Anthony Gill, the player coach, 11 minutes only, but 4 points and 2 rebounds. So overall, everybody, we know what it is. I mean, the Celtics are the defending champion, Boston Celtics, and there's a massive talent gap, and you definitely want to see them fight hard. And I felt like, overall, they had their moments. I mean, the Celtics won 3 out of the 4 quarters. So your best quarter was 26 points compared to the 21 points in the fourth quarter. But let's be real. Look at the shooting numbers. They shot 43% from the field and 39.1% from 3-point range. So again, we lost this game on the perimeter. Closing out the shooters remains to be an issue. Switching, rotations on defense continue to be slow. Rebounding, they got us in the paint, and they out-rebounded us 69-56. Assist numbers 26-22, so ball movement was better than ours. But other stats were kind of close. I mean, turnovers, they actually had 18 compared to our 16. Points in the paint, we had 52 to their 40, so we were able to get more points in the paint. But, I mean, we're about even. But to me, this game was won and lost, depending on the perspective on the perimeter. We continue to allow teams to shoot at record numbers on the perimeter, and we've got to close out the shooters. We've got to get down get down in transition. They're setting their offenses up a lot sooner than we're setting up our defenses, and it shows because they are able to find, with proper ball movement, high percentage shots, and they're killing us with that, man. They're killing us on the perimeter. So, like I said, guys, the losers lose. Losers. Oh, man, I'm here tonight. Lord, Shaq the Fu moment. The Wizards lose to the Celtics 112-98. But, like I said, they fall to an overall record of 3-21. But there were encouraging signs. But ultimately, we lost to a really good Boston Celtics team, which compared to the Cleveland Cavaliers, we played the 2 best teams in the Eastern Conference. So, we know it's a talent gap. But let's be real, not being in the Emirates Cup did not help us out because we played the 2 best teams in the Eastern Conference, but it is what it is at this point. So, Johnny Davis, right? Justin Champagnie, Marvin Bagley III. Should they be keepers? We're going to take a look at that, and you guys, you're definitely going to help me with the topic of the night. Should they be keepers and why? But before we do, tonight's episode is brought to you by Robinhood. With Robinhood Gold, you don't need a silver spoon to eat up the financial favors of the 1%. Robinhood Gold allows others to get the rates and perks usually reserved for the high society. Now, the resourceful individual with Robinhood Gold can earn the very liberal rate of 4.25 APY on uninvested cash and be rewarded with a handsome 3% retirement boost on IRA account contributions. Robinhood Gold provides the privileges of the high net worth for any net worth. These generous benefits are now available for $5 a month. The new gold standard is here with Robinhood Gold. Sign up at RobinhoodGold.com or Robinhood.com/gold. My apologies. Terms apply. For product-specific disclosures, visit Robinhood.com/gold. Investing involves risk. Rate may change. Gold membership is offered by Robinhood Gold, LLC. All right, everybody. Tonight's episode is also brought to you by BetterHelp. As you guys know, I'm a big catalyst for, ask for help, talking to somebody, talking to a counselor. And I say it all the time when I do this ad, right? That there was one time in this country where it was taboo to talk to somebody, and to have to talk to a counselor. It's not like that anymore. It is a lot more, pushed forward or even recommended to talk to somebody. And BetterHelp is here to help you with that transition. All right. If you're thinking about starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule, which are all reasons why people either don't get into counseling or, they're hesitant to get into counseling because, look, it's entirely online. So Divine is designed to be convenient. So it's flexible and suited to your schedule, not theirs. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. So find comfort this December with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/LockedOnNBA today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/LockedOnNBA. All right, everybody, let's get back into this thing. So we mentioned 3 players who have shown glimpses. Johnny Davis, Marvin Bagley III, and Justin Champagnie. All had different routes to the Wizards, right? Obviously, Johnny Davis was drafted here. Justin Champagnie came here. I believe we signed him outright to a 2-way contract. I got to kind of go back to that. And then Marvin Bagley III was acquired through the trade from the Detroit Pistons. But looking at what the direction is, obviously, most reports are saying that they're going to move on from most vets. Few reports here say they may pick and choose which vets to get rid of. But looking at the CBA, looking at the Player Association in the CBA, we have to fulfill so much of the cap. So it behooves you to make certain moves financially. So these 3 players, I think that when you look at, Marvin Bagley III, we'll start with him. He's a guy that you stick around. You can sign him to a very team-friendly deal. He's a guy who's still young, even though it feels like he's been in the league forever. And he's a guy who's shown that with the right coaching, with the right supporting cast, with the right system, with the right motivation, he can produce. And he's shown that in DC, he's found a really comfortable spot for himself. He's got the right situation here where he could be productive. I think he could be further developed. I think he could definitely produce when called upon and given the minutes. And in the second half of the season, man, I definitely want to see what 20 to 25 minutes a night can do for Marvin Bagley III. I think he's a guy who 3-level scorer. Yes, he's not a sniper, but he's a guy who can definitely hit that 3-point shot. And, two-way player, rim protector, a guy who can get very active in the paint. Now, defensively, is he on kind of at the same level as Alex Hart? No, Alex Hart, you probably argue, is a better rim protector. But look, it's all about energy. It's all about confidence. It's all about motivation, and he's found that here in Nation's Cap. So to me, Marvin Bagley III is a guy you keep around long term. Same thing with Justin Champagnie. He's come in and he has played high level basketball, high impact basketball for the Washington Wizards, and he's a guy who, again, like Marvin Bagley III, doesn't need to be the star, doesn't need to be a starter, contributes when called upon. When you give him minutes, he produces on the court. A guy who's a two-way player. Again, he needs to stick around for a while. We need players like Justin Champagnie here long term. So, but let's get to the curious case of Johnny Davis. And yes, for a long time, he did not live up to his 10th overall pick selection. And you can argue he still has not. His shot has changed about 20 times. There has been, lack of confidence. There has been a low motor. But with head coach Brian Keefe here, known around the league as a developmental head coach, I believe that, yes, a lot of the work ethic, a lot of the praise does go to Johnny Davis. He put the time in. He definitely found, he worked his shot to a really nice shot. I think it's closest, and the shot is closer to where it was in Wisconsin. Nice to release. I mean, this shot is a good shot. Defensively, he's always been a good defender, but with his ball handling, he his ability to get to the rim, he's not relying on footwork like he was the first 3 years, man. He's using his speed to attack. You see a much improved Johnny Davis. And I said before the season started, I said, look, give Johnny Davis a year under Brian Keefe and see if he can fix him. Even when they declined his player option, I said, look, I understand why they would. Let's be real. But you give him a year to see if he can definitely get back to somewhat close to that potential you saw when he was coming out of the University of Wisconsin. He's a much improved player. I think that if he proves, especially in the second half of the season, if he proves that he can be a productive player, not saying he's going to be a permanent part of the core here going forward, but maybe you keep him around another year or two. See if you can fix him, because he's a player who's shown that he has value. Now, trade deadline is coming up. Like I said, today was the beginning of when you're going to start to see moves happening in the National Basketball Association. I firmly believe he could be part of a trade, being a salary filler, and other teams could be like, look at the glimpses that he's shown and say, we can fix him. We can definitely help develop him further. And I think that there's going to be some teams that can look at Johnny Davis and say, look, we can fix this kid. We can develop him further. We can give him an environment where, is going to help him develop into a serviceable role player in the National Basketball Association. So I think that I say it all the time, we have options. We want to keep him here and further develop him. We have that prerogative. If obviously his option was declined. So if he's not seen as a long-term piece, I think that if he's not traded to the deadline and he's let go in the offseason, he will be picked up. Now, obviously, you want to see him remain in the NBA. I think that with a proper development, he could develop to be a really good role player. Could he be an overseas guy? We'll see. But I think that Johnny Davis does have a future. Right now, it remains to be seen if it's in Washington or somewhere else in an association or overseas. But he has shown enough this year that he's a much improved player. That his shot, he doesn't need the time to work on his shot himself. And it really shows you that the folly was on Tommy Shepard and his regime. They tried to change his shot. They tried to change what kind of player he was, trying to make him into a point guard. And he's not a point guard. He's a two guard. He's shown much improved play since being underneath Brian Keefe. So I think that a lot of that does have to do with Johnny Davis. He's always been known as a work ethic guy. But Brian Keefe, I'm trying to tell you guys, man, look, we're 3-21. I get it. But he's a head coach that if you're looking at development as being the key factor of where we're at in the rebuild, that's the coach you want right now. Now, in the future, we become a competitor. Maybe you go out there and get that headliner. But I always compare our situation with Brian Keefe to the Philadelphia 76ers when they had Brett Brown, who was a developmental head coach who, try to help develop a lot of these guys that he got in the years of the process, right? So Brian Keefe is known as a coach who's going to get the most out of young players. You've seen it before in Oklahoma City. You've seen it in other stops along the way for Brian Keefe. So I think that his resume speaks volumes of what kind of head coach we have. Now, if you look at X's and O's and all those other factors, I agree to a certain point. Yes, you do want to see much improvement from the head coach as far as game planning, certain things. But also don't forget that he's a first-time head coach. Last year, he was an interim head coach taking over for Winston-Salem Jr., but this is his first official season as a head coach. He's been an assistant coach who was a developmental coach where he focused exclusively on being, developing young talent. Now, he's the guy. So, like I said, it's too early to really judge him, in my opinion, as far as his coaching, because you want to give him another year or two before you really start to look at, is he the guy? Like I said, I believe he's the guy right now. Now, next couple of years, could that be subject to change? Absolutely. Anything, the league changes all the time, man. Like, people aren't viewed as the future now, could be in the future. So, like I said, things change all the time, especially when you look at the market of the trade market, the free agent market, the situation. The team right now who's trying to be an 8th seed may be a team selling within the next 30 days plus. So things change all the time in the NBA, but I think right now, give him the time, give him the opportunity to prove he can be the guy. So getting back to these three guys, you guys let me know tonight. Get in the comment section. Let me know which one of these three players do you think is a long-term piece here in DC? Why and why not? Definitely let your boy know. So, all right, guys, we're going to get into the comments, but before we do, tonight's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Get ready to check out the NFL action with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, because right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if you win. The FanDuel Sportsbook app gives you everything you need to place live bets on the NFL all in one place. So when you get 100 minutes of the game, you can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more on the same page where you place your bets. Just visit FanDuel.com to get started today. You can start with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. That's FanDuel.com. Never waste a hunch and make every moment more with FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of the National Football League. All right, everybody, again, and like I say all the time, appreciate you guys taking time out of your night to rock with your boy tonight. Again, the Washington Wizards do lose to the Boston Celtics 112-98 and fall to an overall record of 3-21. But let's laugh and cry together. Let's get into it. And we already know who is the #1 comment of the night, or the first one, that is. Locked on Law. He says, they play like they did against the Cavs, this is a win. And then he put his comment out at 7:30. So look, he says, but they won't. They can't play 2 solid games back to back. Fair enough. I don't think anybody can disagree with that one. All right, Desan says, great game by Bilal. That's all I got. This season is rough and the vibes on the bench are dead. Kuzma just be on his phone. I think Kuzma knows what it is, man. He's been out with that rib injury for some time now. So how many of these guys are they keeping healthy for the trade deadline? You see that? You possibly see that with Kyle Kuzma. Jonas Valanciunas is only 8 minutes. Like I said, you could see some friction with the trades around the NBA within the next couple of weeks. So could there be a deal in the works? Could be. 8 minutes. You will see. Malcolm Brogdon, I think he's definitely hurt. I don't think they're keeping him out. He's got to stay healthy, man, if we hope to get anything in return for him at the trade deadline. Locked and Law says Kuzma is on his way out of town. He doesn't even care. It does appear so, and I get it from our perspective and from his, man. He's checked out, and I can't say I blame him, to be totally honest with you. Invalid says, man, I find myself increasingly turning the TV off at halftime. At least you have that option. But I will say this, it's good to see Bilal have a second straight good performance. And like I said, guys, if you want to keep yourself sane, if you want to keep yourself from drinking whiskey every single game watching the Wizards, look at the positives, the progression of young talent. That's the biggest key with this team, is the progression of young talent. One, Bilal doing his thing. It's good to see him really step it up offensively. Number 2, when you see guys like Marvin Bagley III and Justin Schimpeni, guys who, Schimpeni was a two-way guy. He was a G League guy playing quality minutes at the NBA level. And Marvin Bagley III, a guy who was shipped out of Sacramento, shipped out of Detroit. For him to come to DC and play quality basketball, I think you give him more minutes. I think he's deserved more minutes. So, that's where I'm at. And Johnny Davis has shown that, he's much improved. Now, has he lived up to 10th overall? No. But, you definitely see a guy who has renewed energy and confidence. So that's what you want to see, man. Desan says, should we be worried about Sarr? It's early, but, man, he looking rough. From the offensive side of the ball, no. He's very raw. It's going to take him another year or 2. I'm looking more so at 2 more years for him to show significant progress on a consistent basis offensively. Defensively, he definitely shows a lot of potential being that rim protector. He does have things to work on, especially with lateral defensive movement. That's one part where really gets him in trouble, especially against faster guys at the 4 and really more athletic and agile guys at center. Even though he does have a lot of athleticism at the 5. There's guys out there in the league that, like I said, his lateral movement is something that definitely needs to be improved. Let's see. Bullets Nation says, the Celtics broadcast said DC fans have nothing to look up to, but blah, and that we are embarrassing to the city. Wow. It's easy to say that when you're a franchise like the Lakers or the Celtics, where you've had like 20 some championships, right? It's easy to kind of look down on a team like the Wizards, where yes, we have not won a championship since 1978. But look, we're heading in the right direction. I mean, I can't argue with that. But in the same token, I'm very loyal, man. I think we're definitely heading in the right direction. And it's all about the journey. So it's easy to talk down on people when they're trash. I get it, but keep that same energy. Give us 3 to 4 years, keep that same energy. Let's see. Bulls Nation also says that the Celtics broadcast also mentioned Kuzma being on the phone a lot. I didn't even notice it until they pointed it out. I mean, when you have the opposing team broadcast bringing it up, man, I mean, bad body language is what I got on Bradley Beal about. Bad body language. We get it. I get it from the perspective of Kuz. Look, the writing's on the wall. I get it, but this is a year after saying things like I want to be here long term. Same things like I want to be part of this. You've got to show better body language, and I am sympathetic to Kyle because man in this situation because look, he's definitely gonna be traded at some point. You're part of a team that's 3-21. I get it. I get it. What. But then you also on the flip side, you want to see some level of leadership. You got to lead by example, man. That the cameras are going to be on you. You got to show better body language, in my opinion. Let's see. Giovanni Santana, what's up? Says good game by Jordan Poole. Oh yeah, absolutely. Like I said, you can look at the shooting numbers and say yeah, inefficient, but I think that a lot of that has to do with being aggressive. So let's see. Joshua Clark was good. Says, yo, let's go Commanders. Absolutely. I went to the game today with my girl and had an exciting time. DC fans and team showed out today. Left hand up. You got it, sir. I'm glad you guys enjoyed yourself. That is way too close to be comfortable with, though, man. I mean, there was a lot of penalties. And Scary Terry McLaurin had a really good game, but that one drop, and then, De'Ami Brown getting that catch and he got called back because Nick Sirianni, or not Sirianni, oh, Lord. Allegretti. Okay, Allegretti. Not the head coach of the Eagles, Nick Allegretti, the left guard. So, like I said, a lot of mistakes today, and it was a lot closer than it should have been. Invalid says, I think Sarr is always getting settling even when going for layups. Oh, absolutely. Good point. He always goes for the little floater thingy when he does take them. Yeah, he is way too dependent on jump shooting and his floater. 7-1, we've got to get him into the paint a lot more. And I get it. That was not where they played him in Australia. And he kind of gave him the ball, let him do whatever he wanted. They did not prepare him for the NBA, in my opinion, in Australia. I'm just going to be honest with you. There's some leagues internationally where they definitely set you up for the next level, which obviously the pinnacle is the NBA. There are some leagues out there that are going to give them a run for their money, but the pinnacle is the National Basketball Association. And some leagues prepare these guys for the highest level and some don't. And clearly they did not get him ready because at 7-1, being a center and playing with your back to the basket is the moon to Alex Sarr. Yes, he has the capability to hit jump shots, mid-range 3-point, but look, you're 7-1. You got to be an all-around center and not just be a perimeter guy. Studio Flaherty says perimeter defense was weak. Yes, it was weak as I don't know what. Let's see. Desan says at Bulls Nation, I don't like that. Shows he doesn't care about his teammates. Yep, at least be a hype man for your guys. Look, you said it for you. I have nothing else to add. Yes, you are on the trade block. Yes. The writing's on the wall, but you still want to be that leader guy, man. Because look, other teams see that. Other teams are seeing your body language, and if you hope to, go to a team where they can prioritize your leadership and your play style, you got to show some level of caring, man. Like you can't be a leader one year and then when things aren't going your way, just go ahead and just check out. It's not the right way to go things, man. So I like Kuz, definitely hopes he finds a good situation when he's moved at some point. And like I said, looking at the front office, they said they're going to hold on some bets. So, he till we find the 4 of the future or the replacement of the 4, who knows, man? Like I said, definitely prepare yourself for any scenario, guys, because we know what it is. We thought that last year they're going to be moving a lot of these vets, and that was not the case. We didn't move all the vets we thought. So, like I said, to me, priority needs to be moving most of these vets. Not all. We need leadership, but most of these vets should definitely be on another team. But like I said, prepare yourself for anything. All right, guys, we're at the 30-minute mark. I'm going to try to knock out 5 more comments. So definitely appreciate you guys. Suge Biz One says he is just here for B. Scott's bourbon. You ain't getting my bourbon. No, you have to get your own bourbon, but definitely appreciate you, man. Definitely appreciate you taking time to rock with your boy tonight. Let's see. The sign says hard pass on Johnny. Okay, fair enough. I like I said, he's had a lot of time to figure it out, man. And like I said, I don't blame him all the way. A lot of blame just goes towards the team, especially underneath Tommy Shepard. But like I said, I definitely want to get your guys' thoughts on Johnny. Is he a keeper or not, man? Brando 72 brings up a good point. We could lose 72 and still not get the top pick. That is the part of the NBA draft lottery that is a curious case in itself, where we are the worst team in the NBA, but we still not even get the first overall. But I think we at worst are going to get a top 5 pick. It does not go past 5. I mean, and me honestly, I'm gonna bring this up too. When was the last time that the Nats and the Wizards both had the number 1 overall pick? 2010. It was a year that they got Bryce Harper. If I believe I just looked at it not too long ago. If I'm incorrect, I'm 95% sure I'm right. If I'm not with the hazy with the dates, you guys let me know. But 2010, when we got Bryce Harper, the year after getting Strasburg, we got John Wall. So is that maybe a sign that we get the number 1 pick this year? It could be. Like I said, I'm a history buff, so history teaches you something, man. History does happen. It does, from time it does happen again. So, like I said, the last time the Wizards and the Nats both have the number 1 overall pick. And for you guys that don't know, the Washington Nationals do have the number 1 overall pick in the next Major League Baseball draft. So, could this be the year we get number 1? I think there is definitely going to be a high chance we get the first overall pick, and that it would be Cooper Flagg. So let's see. We're going to knock out a few more guys. Let's see. Dan Tico 84, how you doing tonight? Could Kuzma's injury hurt the trade market for him? Yeah, I'm not sure what Kuz wants to do. I wish these players would be more transparent. I think that we're gonna do probably 2 more after this, guys. I think that when he first came to DC, it was a different situation. He came over in a Russell Westbrook trade. You had Bradley Beal, you had KP. Well, not KP yet when he got here, but you had Montrezl Harrell. You had who else from the Lakers years, man? Spencer Dinwiddie was our starting point guard. Oh, that tells you how far we've come. So he came to a situation where they were aspiring to be an AC, a playing team. We weren't even close to hitting that reset button yet. So he came. We're a time where he was a third scoring option behind Kristaps Porzingis when we acquired him from Dallas and Bradley Beal. And then before we got KP, he was still the second or third option between Bradley Beal and Spencer Dinwiddie. So you still had KCP, another guy we acquired in draft, which I never thought we should have traded KCP, in my opinion. But like I said, he came to a different situation. Then you go from that situation to now you're the guy with a young player in Jordan Poole, who he himself came over from a playoff team to now you're the guy. So he had to learn to be the guy, and he did show a lot of leadership, being that voice in the locker room. I'm not gonna get into the off the court stuff, the political stuff on X. I'm not concerned with. That's not a reason to really judge Kuz, man. I believe he's got his own voice, man. So I'm not gonna get on him about that. But go back and forth with people, stuff like that. Maybe it soured some fans. To me, it didn't. He's got his own voice. But saying that, saying things like "Don't be that team," and then we end up being that team. I'm not gonna say focus it too much, but at times can focus a little much on the fashion side, stuff like that. Again, I don't care. I don't care if you wear a trash bag, just score points. I mean, that's where my head is at. But I think that they could be keeping him healthy for the trade market. Because the rib injury, did it seem I don't know. I'm not in the little yellow school bus going inside his body and see how bad it is. But so I don't know the extent of his injury, but I do think that a lot of it is them, or are them holding, keeping them healthy for the trade deadline, in my humble opinion. So would it hurt? I think that most teams know what his capabilities are as a scorer with his size, but they know what his capabilities aren't also. So I think that the scouting report is definitely out on Kyle Kuzma for some time now, but will it hurt his trade value? We'll see. All right, guys, we're going to knock out one more because I hate to not answer anybody's questions, but I try to keep these episodes a little more shorter now, guys. Let's see. Last one, Dan Tico 84 says, yeah, Brandon, if Keith is a developmental head coach, we need to develop Sarr in the paint. Absolutely. That's where I'm at. He's 7'1". He needs to be a well-rounded center. Yes, you have the capabilities to shoot a three-point shot, a mid-range shot, but you got to, at 7'1", man, you got to play with your back to the basket. You got to have post moves. You got to have counter moves. You have to be a 7'1" center. And I don't think he's ready to be no power forward, because we've shown when you play guys like Jason Tatum at the 4, he's way too fast for Sarr. Sarr with his lateral movement on defense has to improve, and that just comes with repetition and just being, getting in the gym and working on it. So I think he will, but like I said, I agree 100%. So, all right, guys, definitely appreciate everybody rocking with your boy tonight. The Washington Wizards lose to the Boston Celtics 112-98 and fall to a record of 3-21. But Justin Champagnie showed us a glimpse of why he definitely needs to be kept around for a little bit longer. So you guys get in the comment section. Let me know, do you agree or disagree with that assessment? And especially on not only him, but with Marvin Bagley III and Johnny Davis. Yes, Taco Bell's and Greenberg and Betterman's own Johnny Davis. So definitely get in the comment section and let your boy know. So all right, everybody, again, appreciate you guys. We don't have a game till Thursday, I believe. Yes, Thursday's the next game. So definitely tune in for the next couple of days. We're gonna have we got guests come up on Wednesday. Damo of the Wizards of Gallery Place podcast. He will be on the show on Wednesday, so tune in for that. And like I said, we're gonna go over a lot of trades. So we're gonna try to go over some trade ideas every episode, at least 1 to 2. Because I don't want to kill you guys with all the trade stuff. But look, we're getting closer and closer to the trade deadline, man. We're getting into the hostile season, not only of Major League Baseball for you baseball fans, but in the NBA for trade season warming up. So definitely tune in for that. All right, everybody. Hail to the Wizards and peace. See you guys next time.